Hello everybody and welcome back to Bring Your Own Popcorn and welcome to day 1 of the 12 Days of Christmas 2024. Yes, after last year's relative success, I would say it was relatively successful last year, and just the amount of fun I had doing it, I have decided to bring back the 12 Days of Christmas for 2024. So if you don't know what the 12 Days of Christmas is, it's pretty simple. Basically, on each of the 12 days running up to Christmas, I will watch a Christmas film that I have never seen before and review it for you guys. And in this episode, we'll be watching and reviewing Get Santa. Get Santa is a Christmas film that has actually been on my list for a little while. It actually looks like good fun and it gets relatively good reviews too. So yeah, I'm excited to get into this one. I don't know much about the movie on the whole. I'm pretty sure Santa goes to prison in it, and I'm pretty sure Santa's played by Jim Broadbent, but other than that, I don't really know anything about the film. So without further ado, let's watch Get Santa. Okay, so I had to buy Get Santa on the Sky Store. Let's read what it's about. Santa Claus enlists the help of a father and son after crash landing his new sleigh in London. Festive family fun with Jim Broadbent and, is that Rafe? How do you pronounce that name? Spall. Came out in 2014. It's only got 3 stars. I thought this film was better reviewed than just 3 stars. But yeah, I'm excited to get into this one. Jim Broadbent seems like the perfect pick for a Santa Claus. Pretty sure he voiced Santa in Arthur Christmas 2. So that's interesting that I'm getting to see a live action version of his Santa. But really excited to get into this one. So without further ado, let's watch Get Santa.
That was brilliant!
I know!
Have you thought about doing?
Considering how many mince pies I eat, I think I'm doing very well.
It's the Northern Lights.
I never thought it was real.
All I wanted today was a chance to be a proper dad.
Or a good dad. He's Santa!
He really is. I am. I'm not an elf.
Okay, so I just got done watching Get Santa, the first film of the 12 Days of Christmas 2024, and whilst I can admit this was a fairly generic Christmas film, I have to say, I found it to be such a joyous time. This one has been on my watch list for a while, mainly because the whole concept of Santa being in prison is just something that appealed to my dumb sense of humour. But yeah, this was actually a really fun film. Even though it is definitely cliched and retells messages that I have heard in so many other Christmas films, these kind of low-budget British Christmas films just have a nice charm to them, and they never fail to get me in the Christmas spirit. I did think the story was a lot of fun. Some of the jokes did make me roll my eyes, I have to say. Some of them were pretty dumb, but when a joke lands, it really landed. All the stuff with Santa in prison is genuinely quite funny. Jim Broadbent plays a very childlike, innocent version of Santa Claus, so seeing him trying to act tough in prison in front of all the other prisoners it's just really charming. The film does the classic estranged father-son bonding message, which I'm sure you've seen in millions of other films and millions of other Christmas films, might I add, but the film actually pulls it off pretty well. There are some genuine, really heartwarming scenes in this film that really just manage to put just a massive grin on my face. I will say, as a real negative for the film, the pacings felt a little bit off. It is a rather short movie, but the first 30 minutes or so really felt slow, and it felt like the story it wasn't going anywhere. However, after those first 30 minutes, I think the pacing really picked itself up, and it was a real quick time for that last hour. In terms of performances, Jim Broadbent is excellent, just absolutely excellent in this film. He plays Santa exactly how Santa should be played. I actually thought his performance was similar to that of Gene Wilder in Willy Wonka. He is very childlike in nature, yet boasts extreme authority over the entire rest of the cast. Even though he is very innocent, very childlike, you have no doubt that he is always the smartest man in the room. There is a scene in this film which greatly highlights what I'm trying to say, and it is the scene where Santa talks to all the prisoners about their pasts, and it is probably one of the most emotional, touching, and best scenes in the entire film, and I think that all comes down to Broadbent's performance. Kit Connor and Rafe Spall are also excellent in the film, I thought, and they have real good father-son chemistry in the movie. The film also boasts a really impressive supporting cast. There's a lot of big names in this movie, from Stephen Graham to Jodie Whittaker. Jodie Whittaker's in this one, to Warwick Davis. It's just a really good supporting cast. And Joanna Scanlon and Ewan Bremner's villain duo is just excellent. They're so silly, so over the top, but they're perfect for a Christmas film. I will say though, the direction of the movie has its ups and downs for me. Now, it is obvious that it is a low budget film. I tried googling the budget, but I couldn't find anything. It is very obvious it's a low budget movie, but even so, the effects just weren't up to scratch for me. They looked especially cheap, and as though very little thought had been put into them. The film also has a real strange, just dull colour palette to it throughout the full film. There's a couple of scenes where it livens up a bit. And I guess you could say that colour palette really complements the prison scenes because it's a very dull atmosphere. But I wasn't a fan of the colour palette. I would have liked it to have been a little bit more lively, but it's just very dull in terms of colour. However, I do think the set design was really nice, some of the cinematography was really good, and the choices of music in some places was just excellent in my opinion. Overall, I thought Get Santa was a really fun and enjoyable Christmas film. If it didn't have that great sense of Christmas charm to it, it wouldn't be getting this good a review, believe me, but it just has a nice warmness to it, which I can't help but adore. It definitely has its issues, don't get me wrong, but I'm going to give Get Santa a 7 out of 10, and it gets my recommendation. Let me know down in the comments what you thought of Get Santa if you've seen it. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Do you think it's just alright? I love to read your comments and I try and respond to every single one of them. Join me back here tomorrow on the channel for day 2 of the 12 Days of Christmas, where I'll be watching for the first time and reviewing The Santa Claus 2. Thank you everyone for watching. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, all that jazz, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.